true identity of the goddess Schain has been revealed. At this moment, Zhu Wenhua, with his face swollen like a pig's head, stared fiercely at Yunmengzi, cursing in his heart. Fine, fine. Yunmengzi, you are the crown prince of the Great Flame Empire, yet you dare to collude with Shen Lang to protect a fugitive of the Great Flame, deceiving the sovereign of the Yu Kingdom. Since you are not afraid of death, let's see how I expose you. He directly knelt before the sovereign and said, Your Majesty, I have long heard that the relationship between the imperial envoy Yunmengzi and Shen Lang is extraordinary, calling each other brothers in private. His excuses are clearly protective. I earnestly request Your Majesty to send an envoy and invite a veteran imperial minister to identify him. Hearing Zhu Wenhua's words, Yunmengzi turned his head and brought out several older envoys, citing his young age and unreliable memory as reasons, asking the elders to identify them. They stared at Schain for a long while. They all shook their heads and then said, Your Majesty, this lady is too young, her eyes too naive. Based on her memory, we can determine she is not the wanted fugitive Schain from our Great Flame. Upon hearing this, Zhu Wenhua was almost driven mad. It was bad enough that Yunmengzi was spouting nonsense, but now these old fools are blind too. In desperation, Zhu Wenhua shouted, Your Majesty, Yunmengzi and others must have been bought by Shen Lang. I earnestly request Your Majesty to send someone to the Great Flame Empire and let the Flame Emperor send a trusted official to identify. However, the sovereign just sighed deeply and did not attend to him, then calmly said, Even before this lady entered our territory, I had already sent people to verify her identity. Now that the envoys have affirmed it, I am at ease. With these words, Zhu Wenhua felt as if struck by lightning, screaming in his heart, How could this be? The sovereign, in front of everyone, misrepresents the truth to help Shen Lang cover up his crimes. What is going on? Meanwhile, all the officials and ministers in the court were shocked, whispering among themselves. Only Su Nan, Zhu Rong, and a few other top dignitaries remained silent. Even a fool could see that the sovereign was intentionally protecting Shen Lang. It looks like they lost this round again. At this moment, Shen Lang, pretending to struggle, held his waist and walked up to Schain, saying, Since everything has been clarified, you should go home first. Schain nodded and gracefully turned to leave. Zhu Wenhua, seeing this, loudly called out, trying to stop her. Unexpectedly, Zhu Wenhua was directly met with Shen Lang's big foot, and a mouthful of old blood shot 3 meters high. This was followed by Shen Lang's deadly series of kicks, leaving Zhu Wenhua with no chance to fight back. This action of Shen Lang, even the eunuch next to the sovereign couldn't stand to watch. Shen Lang, what are you doing? If you move any bigger, the lamellar armor on your buttocks is going to fall off. With that attitude, I won't join you in acting anymore. After a while, having tired of beating, Shen Lang directly grabbed Zhu Wenhua's clothes, pulling him to his side, and whispered, Zhu Wenhua, you fool, did you ever think how a mere 7th grade censor like you knew I had a wanted fugitive from the Great Flame Empire by my side? Such important, deadly information. Of course, I let it slip to you. Don't say today that the sovereign misrepresents the truth in the court. Even if the Flame Emperor himself came, he wouldn't acknowledge her as Schain. Zhu Wenhua was stunned upon hearing this, completely unable to comprehend the meaning in Shen Lang's words. At that moment, Shen Lang continued, I should thank you today for taking this blow for me. If it weren't for your actions today, I might have been exalted by those people, then sent to the Sand Barbarian tribe. After speaking, Shen Lang threw him heavily to the ground. At this moment, Zhu Wenhua, lying on the ground, was still pondering the implications of Shen Lang's words, wondering if he had been inadvertently helping him all along. However, the sovereign sitting on the throne was truly angry, pointing at Shen Lang and bellowing, Li Ji, Shen Lang has been disrespectful in front of His Highness. Drag him away and give him a severe caning of 10 strokes. Moments later, Shen Lang, with his usual bravado, lay on the punishment chair, and the executioner was still Li Eunuch. However, unbeknownst to them, Li Eunuch was filled with resentment towards Shen Lang, cursing in his heart, You arrogant kid, let me teach you a lesson this time. He then exerted a third of his strength, avoiding the lamellar armor, and struck Shen Lang hard. A pig-like scream echoed throughout the hall. Shen Lang certainly hadn't expected Li Ji to actually hit him. Moments later, Shen Lang shakily returned to the hall, glaring at Li Ji. Li Ji, you old thing, that was a harsh blow. I'll remember this grudge, and after this matter is over, I'm definitely going to take a small revenge. Sovereign saw Shen Lang wincing in pain but suppressed a smile, clearing his throat and saying, Imperial Censor Zhu Wenhua, you fabricated the matter of the Great Flame Empire's wanted criminal Schain out of thin air, completely reversing black and white and seeking public attention, framing a meritorious official of the Yu Kingdom and causing turmoil in the court. Immediately strip him of all official posts and arrest him. As soon as he finished speaking, 2 guards from the Blackwater platform stepped forward, ignoring Zhu Wenhua's struggles and cries of injustice, and directly apprehended him. Meanwhile, Shen Lang's face showed a mischievous smile. Zhu Wenhua, oh Zhu Wenhua, always trying to stir up trouble despite your lowly status. Wouldn't it be better to live honestly? The Flame Emperor listed Schain as a fugitive of the Great Flame only to cover up her real identity. After all, Schain is the Flame Emperor's cousin. Why would he really capture her? It turns out she is not only the sworn sister of Jiangli, but also a princess of the Great Flame Empire. Although she was initially following the orders of the Emperor of the Great Flame to infiltrate Jiangli's side, she was unwittingly won over by Jiang Li's charismatic personality and thus betrayed the Flame Emperor. Even after Jiang Li's downfall, she vowed to remain loyal to him forever and decisively cut ties with her family. Shen Lang had already investigated these details clearly. To prevent his enemies from sending him to the Sand Barbarian tribe, he had used this trump card to start planning his scheme early. Initially, he approached Jang Chong's second son, Jang Sun, but Jang Sun, having watched his own father being framed into prison by Shen Lang, waved his hands repeatedly. "Please don't harm me." To avoid provoking this calamity, Jang Sun had someone send a secret letter overnight. Although the letter tactfully declined Shen Lang's request, it also recommended Zhu Wenhua as a scapegoat among Shen Lang's enemies. Satisfied with Jang Sun's recommendation, Shen Lang immediately set a trap for Zhu Wenhua, letting him know that he had brought Schain back to the capital city. Sure enough, the foolish Zhu Wenhua took the bait quickly. Having just entered the Imperial Censorate, he informed the Imperial Censor Dr. Wang Chengchang of the matter, and since Wang Chengchang was already a lackey of the Su family, eager to please Su Nan, they quickly agreed and decided to impeach Shen Lang in court on the day he was to be rewarded. Zhu Wenhua, the fool, did not expect that after revealing this in court, he would be beaten up by Shen Lang right there, and the sovereign only symbolically punished Shen Lang, which shocked him even more, as the Great Flame Empire's envoy to the Yu Kingdom, Yunmengza, actually denied that Schain was a fugitive of the Great Flame Empire. After all this commotion in the morning, the sovereign also felt somewhat irritable. So, after Zhu Wenhua was taken away, he began to speak. "My lords, mythical turtle Count Jinzhua has eradicated the pirate Qiu Tianwei and captured Furious Tide City for our Yu Kingdom. His contributions are indispensable, and by rights, he should be ennobled as the mythical turtle marquis. If there are no objections, then it shall be so decided." As soon as he finished speaking, the entire hall fell silent. However, just as the sovereign was about to issue the decree, a voice pierced through the air. "Your Majesty, hold." Imperial Censorate Deputy Yu Qingzhu stepped forward and said, "I accuse Mythical Turtle Count's mansion of plotting rebellion. Mythical Turtle Count Jinzhua has colluded with the state of Wu, intending to rebel, and Shen Lang's entry into court is undoubtedly to cover for the Jin family's rebellion. I earnestly request Your Majesty to retract the ennoblement, swiftly reclaim the Jin family's lands, and imprison Jinzhua in the heavenly prison, allowing the Court of Judicial Review officials to investigate this matter thoroughly." Upon hearing this, the sovereign's expression changed drastically, angrily saying, "Treason! Jinzhua, you have some nerve. His Majesty merely delayed your ennoblement for a few months, and now you dare to openly collude with the state of Wu to pressure His Majesty?" And Shen Lang, narrowing his eyes slightly, looked towards Yu Qingzhu, thinking to himself, "Very well, today I, Shen Lang, will really make a killing in this court." One word, exhilarating. Upon hearing this news, the sovereign's gaze towards Shen Lang instantly turned cold. Shen Lang, realizing this, understood that he had undoubtedly touched the sovereign's sore spot. Just months ago, when the Jin family had just captured Furious Tide City, the state of Wu had repeatedly sent envoys to the mythical turtle count, offering olive branches and promising that if Jinzhua defected to Wu, they would ennoble the Jin family as dukes and hand over the entire Thunderous Archipelago for the Jin family to rule. At that time, due to sovereign Ning Yuanxian's reluctance to issue the ennoblement, Jinzhua, harboring grievances, was tempted by Wu's offer. Fortunately, Shen Lang, analyzing the potential consequences of such a rash move, timely stopped it, because Shen Lang was very aware that although Ning Yuanxian was the sovereign of a country, his character was mean and ungrateful, petty and narrow-minded. If he discovered that the Jin family was indeed colluding with Wu, the consequences would be unimaginable. At this moment in the hall, the sovereign coldly asked Yu Qingzhu, "For this matter, do you have conclusive evidence?" Yu Qingzhu directly pulled out a secret letter from his chest and said, "I have here a secret letter between Jinzhua and King Wu, and not long ago, the Wu Kingdom sent 3 high officials, Wu Meng, the junior minister of the Ministry of Rights, Zhu Yi, an official from the Ministry of Personnel, and Wang Chengyan, the junior minister of the Office of Reception, to Furious Tide City for a secret meeting with Jinzhua." As soon as these words were spoken, all the officials in the hall were unsettled. The fact that Wu could send 3 high-level officials for a secret meeting with Jinzhua made it very likely true. Subsequently, Li Eunuch took the secret letter and presented it to the sovereign. When the sovereign saw the contents of the letter, his face changed dramatically, and the anger he emitted instantly filled the entire hall. Then, Yu Qingzhu added another stab. "Your Majesty, this secret letter was personally written by mythical turtle Count Jinzhua. If there are doubts, someone can be called to verify the handwriting." The sovereign did not respond, but instead threw the letter in front of Shen Lang. Shen Lang was startled, thinking to himself that he hadn't realized the sovereign's martial arts inner strength was so strong. He then picked up the letter and opened it to check. When he saw the handwriting, he frowned. It indeed matched his father-in-law's handwriting exactly. To find the flaw, he immediately activated his AI to compare it, and sure enough, he found a subtle difference. The letter is a forgery, but these guys were meticulous enough to frame his father-in-law. They even imitated the tone of the letter almost perfectly. First, it displayed a loyal and patriotic front, but the letter ended with "grateful for King Wu's deep affection, wishing to establish establish a friendship with Wu for generations to come. Isn't this indirectly using the enemy state to assert pressure? At this moment, the sovereign looked at Shen Lang as if flames might shoot from his eyes. You should know, Wu is a great enemy of our Yu kingdom, and yet you, Jin Zhua, speak in the letter of establishing a friendship with them for generations. If this isn't treason, what is? After reading the letter, Shen Lang said, Your Majesty, I can affirm that this letter did not come from my father-in-law. Yu Qingzhu sneered from the side. Does His Majesty recognize the handwriting of mythical turtle count? You say this letter is fake. Do you have evidence? Shen Lang calmly looked at the letter in his hand and said, If one examines this letter carefully, one can observe the differences from my father-in-law's handwriting. Someone deliberately imitated his handwriting precisely to frame and cause trouble for my Jin family. Hearing Shen Lang's defense, the sovereign also calmed down slightly. Jin Zhua's character was even praised by his own father, and with the Jin family currently in the limelight, the possibility of them being framed was indeed high. His Majesty indeed deliberately delayed the ennoblement of the Jin family. It's possible that Jin Zhua, in desperation, had corresponded with King Wu. At this moment, an argument broke out, interrupting the sovereign's thoughts. Yu Qingzhu pointed at Shen Lang and asked, Did those three Wu officials secretly meet Jin Zhua in Furious Tide City? Shen Lang did not deny it, replying, Indeed, those three entered Furious Tide City under the guise of sea merchants, but my father-in-law did not meet them, let alone have any secret talks. Yu Qingzhu sneered. Then why were these three seen entering the city lord's mansion by a spy from Blackwater platform, staying for over an hour before leaving? If you say there were no secret talks, who would believe that? After hearing this, Shen Lang understood. It seemed these three had deliberately exposed themselves after failing to sway his father-in-law. It was likely that some people had used this event to collude with Wu, employing a strategy to force his father-in-law into rebellion. At that moment, Yu Qingzhu said sternly, Shen Lang, this might well be that some loyalists around Jin Zhua intentionally revealed the whereabouts of this matter to Blackwater platform, allowing us to successfully intercept this secret letter. Otherwise, once Jin Zhua rebels, it would cause a fatal blow to our Yu kingdom. He then turned to the sovereign to suggest, I earnestly request your majesty immediately detain the heir of mythical turtle count's mansion, Jin Mutsong, and Shen Lang, forcing Jin Zhua to relinquish the military power of Furious Tide City to eliminate future troubles. As soon as these words were spoken, even Li Eunuch sensed the malice in them. This was no longer just about blocking Jin Zhua's path to ennoblement. Once Shen Lang and Jin Mutsong were detained, it would certainly provoke mythical turtle count into retaliation, and if the count struck back, the lives of these two would be in grave danger. At this moment, Shen Lang glanced behind him towards Su Nan hiding among the crowd of ministers. Shen Lang looked over and cursed inwardly, Su Nan, you have so many henchmen, you old venomous snake. Yu Qingzhu has impeached you many times for your extravagant lifestyle, seemingly at odds with each other, yet unexpectedly he's actually under your command. Let's see how I, Shen Lang, break your scheme this time. With that thought, he turned around and knelt down, saying, Your Majesty, I wish to impeach Yu Qingzhu for colluding with Wu, sowing discord among the hearts of our Yu kingdom's monarch and ministers. His intentions are dishonorable, aimed at inciting rebellion and my father-in-law, surely making him a spy for Wu. I implore your majesty to have him executed. Yu Qingzhu scoffed disdainfully after hearing this. Shen Lang, are you in a desperate plight? Let me ask you one thing. Do you have any evidence to prove that this secret letter is fake? The sovereign also spoke at this time. Shen Lang, I have always fulfilled my promises to you, but I also need clarity. In fact, the sovereign truly believed in the loyalty of the Jin family and was more eager than anyone for Shen Lang to turn the situation around. Shen Lang certainly did not disappoint the sovereign as he loudly said, Your Majesty, I have crucial evidence to prove the innocence of my Jin family. Please allow the evidence to be brought into the hall. Moments later, Big Fool and Shen 13 arrived in the Great Hall, carrying two wooden boxes. When the sovereign saw Big Fool, who was as tall as a giant, he was taken aback. Then his gaze fell on the ornament on his arm, thinking to himself, Isn't that Ning Jie's ornament? Could this Big Fool actually be our Yu kingdom's hope for conquering the martial world? Then, Yu Qingzhu disdainfully spoke up, Shen Lang, where is this evidence you speak of? Is it this Big Fool? As soon as these words were out, the surrounding ministers also began whispering among themselves. At this moment, with the evidence seemingly conclusive, almost no one believed Shen Lang could turn the situation around again. However, Shen Lang suddenly covered his nose and mouth, stepped back half a meter, and then had Shen 13 open the smaller wooden box. When the sovereign saw the contents of the box, he was utterly shocked. Inside lay a bloody severed head. At that moment, Shen Lang stepped forward and said, Your Majesty, this is the evidence of my Jin family's innocence. This head is that of Wang Chengyan, the junior minister of the Wu country's office of reception. With these words, all the officials in the hall were even more shocked, surprised, but more so panicked. Although the Jin family could prove their innocence, killing an envoy from Wu was undoubtedly cutting off their own escape route and could potentially trigger a war between the two nations. However, Shen Lang was indifferent. For him, it didn't matter who he killed. What was important was to solidify the Jin family's standing in the sovereign's heart. His gaze coldly fell on Yu Qingzhu, thinking to himself, Old Ku, do you see? Isn't this more efficient than verifying the authenticity of the letter? At this moment, Yu Qingzhu looked at the head in the box, already scared out of his wits, trembling inside. How could this be? Didn't the intelligence say that these three Wu officials had met with the mythical turtle count and safely returned to their ship? The sovereign, however, showed a pleased expression, repeatedly praising, "Excellent, excellent. The mythical turtle count truly has no second heart towards our Yu kingdom. Such a loyal minister also does not betray my trust." Then, Shen Lang continued to speak. "Your Majesty, previously the three Wu officials infiltrated our furious Tide City, intending to turn my Jin family against the state. After my father-in-law discovered this, he immediately ordered their detention, and the junior minister from the Office of Reception was killed in fierce resistance. The remaining two officials are still detained in the Great Prison, awaiting your Majesty's decision. However, my father-in-law acted without imperial consent in killing the envoy, an act that might brew a diplomatic crisis between Wu and you. I request your Majesty to consider the implications." After hearing this, the sovereign was even more delighted, laughing. "My dear official, worry not. Wu is merely a defeated foe under my command. 20 years ago in the Great War, the king of Wu was utterly defeated, painfully ceding 9 counties to our Yu kingdom. Facing such a decrepit old foe, what is there to fear?" After speaking, the sovereign then looked towards Big Fool, asking, "What is in the box behind this Big Fool?" Seeing this, Shen Lang stepped forward, bowed, and said, "My father-in-law recently encountered a heavenly auspicious object, and the Jin family dares not keep it for themselves. Hence, taking the opportunity of my first court appearance, I have brought it to present to your Majesty." With that, Shen Lang signaled Big Fool to open the box. Just then, a ferocious giant crocodile turtle suddenly appeared before everyone. Seeing the creature in the box, the officials in the hall gasped in shock, followed by murmurs. Such a huge creature, with such imposing aura. Could this be the legendary mythical turtle? Seeing the shocked reactions of everyone, Shen Lang was not surprised. After all, a crocodile turtle is a rare species in the eastern capital city, especially one so large, at least 100 years old. He had the Heavenly Path Society go to great lengths to find it overseas, planning to offer this auspicious creature to the sovereign at a critical moment to demonstrate the Jin family's loyalty. At that moment, the sovereign laughed and asked, "Shen Lang, this mythical turtle should be a lucky charm for your Jin family. How did it end up here with me?" Shen Lang bowed deeply and said, "Your Majesty's grace is boundless, and everything in Yu kingdom is your domain. My Jin family is loyal to you, so Furious Tide City and this auspicious mythical turtle naturally belong to you as well." Indeed, this statement pleased the sovereign, who laughed and said, "Very well, it seems Jinjua truly has good intentions. However, such a large mythical turtle is an auspicious creature. I cannot treat it as just any pet. I will build a special pond for it to live in. The mythical turtle can not only protect my palace, but also ensure that our Yu kingdom enjoys peace and prosperity." Having said this, the sovereign decreed, "Mythical turtle Count Jinjua is loyal and brave, upright and selfless, has eradicated pirates and captured Furious Tide City, expanding our territory, a feat that cannot go unrewarded. Therefore, I hereby confer upon him the title of Mythical Turtle Marquis. Furious Tide City is undoubtedly the territory of our Yu kingdom, to be managed by the Jin family without dispute from others." Following the sovereign's 2 proclamations, an eunuch immediately began drafting the imperial decree. At this moment, the sovereign looked towards Ning Qi and continued, "The conferment of a marquis is a significant event that requires a respected person to deliver the decree. I must trouble the sovereign's uncle to make the journey in person." Upon hearing this, Ning Qi did not delay and turned to leave the Great Hall. With that, the matters of the Jin family ruling Furious Tide City and Jinjua's promotion to Mythical Turtle Marquis were settled. However, for Shen Lang, there was one last act to play out in court. Suddenly, he addressed the sovereign, "Your Majesty, did you not have doubts about that secret letter? It has been many days since my father-in-law killed the Wu country's Office of Reception junior minister, yet the date on the secret letter is only 8 days ago. Would my father-in-law show goodwill to the king of Wu after killing his envoy? This is clearly a scheme by powerful officials colluding with Wu to frame my Jin family. Moreover, if the Wu envoys secretly infiltrated Furious Tide City, why does Yu Qingzhu know so much about the entire process? I have reason to suspect that Yu Qingzhu has colluded with Wu and has become a traitor. This secret letter must have come from him, aiming to incite rebellion in my Jin family and overthrow our great Yu kingdom. This man must be executed. He cannot be spared." Hearing Shen Lang's words, Yu Qingzhu was so frightened that he almost wet his clothes, tremblingly pointing at Shen Lang, accusing him of slandering. Then, he knelt before the sovereign, desperately asserting his loyalty. However, the sovereign looked at him with disgust and coldly said, "Take him away, strip him of his official robe and imprison him in the Blackwater platform prison. This matter must be thoroughly investigated." Yu Qingzhu's heart sank upon hearing this. The Blackwater platform was a direct agency of the sovereign, and almost all who were detained there faced certain death, or if they survived, it was a fate worse than death. Standing by, Shen Lang, seeing the desperate face of Yu Qingzhu being taken away, felt immensely satisfied. With the sovereign as his patron, his heart had already transformed into a formidable crab wielding a slaughtering knife, almost ready to strut sideways before the sovereign. "How can I, Shen Lang, Lang be so formidable? His gaze swept across the court officials as if challenging them. Come on, who else dares to challenge me? Shen Lang, bring it on. However, just as he was lost in his arrogance, the sovereign's voice rang out again. Office of Reception Chief Clerk Shen Lang, you have roared in the court and assaulted an official. Such disrespectful acts normally warrant severe punishment, but considering your merits, I will be lenient. Therefore, I order you to be relieved of your official duties and go home to reflect on your actions. With the imperial decree announced, Shen Lang, who was on an emotional high, nearly lost his balance, then looked towards the sovereign with a face full of grievance, thinking to himself, did I fly too high, even for the sovereign to tolerate? But the sovereign merely glanced at him lightly, thinking, Shen Lang, don't be ungrateful. I am cutting off those who wish to send you to the Sand Barbarian tribe to die. Shen Lang's battle in court had ended perfectly. Also, the sovereign, to protect him from being forced by the Su family to go to the Sand Barbarian tribe, had stripped him of his official position and sent him home. An hour later, Shen Lang returned to the Jin family's villa. Just as he entered the courtyard, the elder daughter of the Yu family ran up crying and hugged his legs. Shen Lang, having no choice, picked her up. At that moment, the little girl turned her head and began to complain to him, saying her sister had torn his painting. As he wondered about the painting, he saw her sister standing in front of him, holding 2 pieces of torn paper, pitifully explaining that she was framed by her sister. But when Shen Lang saw the characters in the painting, he trembled inwardly. Wasn't this the portrait he had secretly drawn of Schain the night before? How had these 2 little girls dug it out? At that moment, the 3 women standing by also watched the scene unfold with great embarrassment. Sensing the discomfort, the sensible little Bing quickly made the excuse that she was thirsty, pulled Ning Zheng's wife back into the inner house, and took the 2 little girls away from the awkward situation. Now, only Shen Lang and Schain were left in the courtyard. Just as Shen Lang was at a loss, Schain suddenly walked towards him and said, Shen Lang, I am leaving. Despite being somewhat prepared, Shen Lang was still startled by her sudden declaration. Schain continued, you don't need me much anymore, and my junior brother has not yet returned from Floating Mountain where he went to seek a cure, so I plan to go and meet him. If neither Zhong Chuk nor I return, then you should send Big Fool to Sword King Li Qianqiu. Hearing this, Shen Lang wanted to say something to persuade her to stay, but seeing her determined expression, he found it hard to say more. That afternoon, Shen Lang reluctantly escorted Shuayin out of capital city, accompanying her for dozens of miles until they reached the western border. As they were about to part, Shen Lang said, once you leave, who knows when we will meet again. Make sure to come back and visit me when you have the time. Shuayin smiled at this, then cupped Shen Lang's face and gently kissed him. This spontaneous gesture stunned Shen Lang, leaving him frozen in place. At that moment, suddenly a man descended from the sky, landing next to them with a thud. The next second, the man kneeled before Shuayin and said, Jiang Ming pays his respects to his aunt. I have finally seen you again. It has been 20 years since my father passed away, and it is time for your heartache to be healed. Hearing this, Shen Lang was puzzled. Father? Did Emperor Qian's sovereign Jianli have a son? I've never heard of that. But while he was still confused, the usually gentle Shuayin, now full of murderous intent, charged at Jiang Ming. In that moment, she seemed like a completely different person, veins bulging on her neck, her eyes filled with hatred and rage. The next second, her cold sword, brimming with a deadly aura, struck towards Jiang Ming. In a flurry of continuous attacks, Shuayin gave no quarter, leaving no chance for Jiang Ming to survive. However, Jiang Ming's figure flickered ghost-like, evading swiftly. This scene stunned Shen Lang. So strong. He knew Shuayin's strength, but now he was certain that Shuayin had unleashed thousands of swords, yet she hadn't managed to injure Jiang Ming at all. The man was merely dodging, with no intent to fight back. Suddenly, Shuayin yelled, Wu Ming, don't you dare mention that Jiang surname in front of me. You are not worthy. Hearing this name, Shen Lang finally understood the identity of the man. Wasn't he Wu Ming, the son of the ruler of the New Qian Kingdom, Yingguang? But why was he calling himself Jiang Ming? After the defeat of the Great Qian Kingdom, its ruler, Yingguang, faced the ruin of his country. Most of their land was annexed by the Flame Emperor, and what was left was divided into 4 smaller nations. The largest piece was called the New Qian Kingdom. Today's New Qian Kingdom sovereign, Yingguang, originally named Jiangguang, was a foundling picked up and adopted by Emperor Jianli's father, Jiangji, by the roadside. Jiangguang and Jiangli were very close, and after Jiangli ascended the throne, he set aside his own brothers and conferred kingship on Jiangguang. However, during the decisive battle between the Great Qian Kingdom and the Great Flame Empire 20 years ago, Jiangguang betrayed the Qian sovereign. After the assassination of Jiangli and his wife, Jiangguang allied himself with the Great Flame, leading to the annihilation of the Great Qian Kingdom's million-strong army by the combined forces of Great Flame and Dejin. At that time, the traitor Jiangguang was installed as the sovereign of the new Great Qian Kingdom by the Flame Emperor and was given a new surname, changing from Jiangguang to Yingguang, while his son Jiang Ming thus naturally became the crown prince. Now renamed Wu Ming, he was once Jiang Li's adopted son and direct disciple. Therefore, his martial prowess was very high, and even Shuayin, a grandmaster herself, might not be his match. Shuayin, exhausted and furious, finally ceased her attacks, but still still held her sword, staring bitterly at Ing Wuming, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. Emperor Jianli held you in such high regard. He entrusted his efforts unreservedly to you and your father, only to be betrayed by you both. Now you appear before me claiming the Jiang surname, which you do not deserve at all. Ing Wuming sighed and said, "Aunt, there are no more descendants of the Jiang royal family. If I do not keep the Jiang surname, then there will be no one left with it." After saying this, seeing Shui Yin's angry expression, he sighed again, left a message saying, "Take good care of yourself, Aunt," and then turned and leapt away. After Ing Wuming left, Shui Yin managed to stabilize her emotions and turned to Shen Lang to instruct him. "This Ing Wuming has come to you kingdom with no good intentions. I don't know when I'll be able to return, so you should avoid getting involved with him for now." Shen Lang nodded in agreement, then asked worriedly, "Aunt, you must be careful on your trip to Floating Mountain and do not let your guard down and get poisoned again." To his surprise, Shui Yin smiled faintly and then said, "Don't worry, Shen Lang. Given the current situation, Floating Mountain won't be able to do much to me. After all, I am a ruthless woman who can do anything." Hearing this, Shen Lang was taken aback. Shui Yin looked at him tenderly and said, "The world doesn't have perfect people, and I'm no exception. 20 years ago, I was a ruthless woman, not the saintly figure you see now. I only changed to accumulate virtue for His Majesty." After saying this, she suddenly drew closer to Shen Lang, reached out towards him, and then, while he was still dazed, she turned and drifted away. Shen Lang was stunned. What just happened? Meanwhile, in the Crown Prince's study, Zhu Rong, who was eager to save Jang Chong, was pleading with the Crown Prince for help. He hoped the Crown Prince would take advantage of the sovereign's good mood to plead for Jang Chong. Now is the best time to save Jang Chong. As long as you speak up before His Majesty, there's a chance Jang Chong could be released. But the Crown Prince only chuckled and shook his head. Xiao Yan immediately understood and said, "In Master Zhu's eyes, Jang Chong may be important, but to His Highness the Crown Prince, there are more pressing matters. Every time he speaks before His Majesty is valuable. Why waste it so casually?" Zhu Rong's heart tightened, and he continued to implore, "Your Highness, Jang Chong is a pillar of our nation. If you can save him, he will surely be eternally loyal to you." However, the Crown Prince replied impatiently, "Enough, uncle, I have my own judgment." Then, he turned to Zhao Yan and asked, "Has Su Chanqian defected to Shen Lang?" Hearing the Crown Prince change the subject, Zhu Rong felt a chill in his heart and thought to himself, "Jang Chong, I've done all I can." He bowed and then left the study. After Zhu Rong left, Zhao Yan replied, "Your Highness, Su Chanqian indeed betrayed your expectations and is now involved with Shen Lang." The Crown Prince nodded, "Then have someone retrieve the plaque given to the Su family. As for Jang Chong, he is indeed a sharp tool, but since he entered prison, he has not only refused to beg for mercy but has also dared to contradict the sovereign. The sovereign doesn't like such capable but unbending people. If I were to plead for him, wouldn't that be asking for trouble? He's likely to die in prison." At this time, deep within the palace, the sovereign was leisurely lying on a concubine's lap, listening to her read Shen Lang's works. After finishing, the concubine laughed and asked, "I didn't expect Shen Lang to be so talented. I wonder when the second part will be published." The sovereign sighed. This young rascal does nothing all day and has no intention of continuing to write. Moreover, this book was written to deal with the Su family, and now that the Su family is nearly destroyed and Su Chanqian has become his concubine, who knows when the second part will come out. As they were talking, the urgent voice of Li Ji came from outside the door. "Your Majesty, there's been an incident." The sovereign immediately got up and allowed Li Ji to come in and report. Entering the room, Li Ji said, "Your Majesty, Jang Chong has fallen gravely ill in prison, and it appears he doesn't have much longer to live." The sovereign was startled. "How can that be? He was fine a few days ago. Is this an act for my benefit, or has someone harmed him behind the scenes?" Li Ji helplessly responded, "Your Majesty, it seems Jang Chong may have contracted the same disease that the former queen had, severe dysentery." Hearing this name, the sovereign's eyes narrowed sharply. Dysentery, in this world, is almost an incurable terminal illness. The former queen, the woman he once loved most, had died from this disease. And all this because, when Ning Yuanxian was young, he had verbally agreed to marry his beloved daughter Ning Han to Jiang Li's son. However, after Jiang Li's downfall, this engagement became a death warrant, with various capitals targeting Yu Kingdom. At that time, amidst Ning Yuanxian's crises, the Zhu family helped him through the danger. To secure his throne and the kingdom, he deposed the original queen and established a member of the Zhu family as the new queen. Since then, the former queen lived in gloom, confined herself to the cold palace, and ultimately succumbed to dysentery after enduring great suffering. For this, the sovereign was immensely self-reproachful. The disease could either be caused by excessive eating or accumulated from anxiety and grief. At this moment, he regretted deeply and sighed inwardly, thinking that such a loyal servant as Jang Chong should not have to suffer such an injustice. Considering Jang Chong's character, he speculated that Jang Chong's state of mind in prison over the past few months must have been similar to that of the former queen. Thinking this, the sovereign said, "Li Ji, transmit my decree. Immediately send Jang Chong home and have the imperial physician treat him." The once wise and composed prefect Zhang, who now found himself reduced to a prisoner, was suffering greatly due to his proud and unyielding character. At this moment, when Zhang Jang Chong's second son, Jang Sun, saw his father being sent back home looking deathly and emaciated. His emotions completely collapsed. When Jang Chong was first imprisoned, Jang Sun had still held great hope, thinking that the sovereign was merely angry at his father for losing to Shen Lang and that he would release him once his anger subsided. The jailers of the Court of Judicial Review initially thought the same and treated Jang Chong with kindness, hoping to curry favor. However, months passed, and the sovereign still ignored Jang Chong, prompting the jailers to change their demeanor and start extorting him. But the proud Jang Chong would not comply, leading to various mistreatments. It was during that time that he began to experience abdominal pain and high fevers. Initially, the jailers thought he was faking it to gain sympathy, but when he fell unconscious, they panicked and immediately reported the situation. Now, as Jang Chong was being settled in, the sovereign's sent imperial physician also arrived to diagnose him. Watching the physician's grave expression, Jang Sun anxiously inquired about his father's condition, but the physician just shook his head regretfully. "I'm sorry, second young master, your father has contracted severe dysentery. He has a high fever and has lost consciousness. Moreover, he now suffers from hepatic poisoning and cardiac stress. You should prepare for his final arrangements." With these words, Jang Sun felt as though a mountain had collapsed on him. Seeing his distress, the old physician, feeling pity, suggested administering an anesthetic to at least ease Jang Chong's pain in his final moments. However, Jang Sun refused, knowing his father would want to face death lucidly. Seeing this, the physician could only shake his head helplessly, bowed, said please take care, and left. After the physician left, Jang Sun's tears could no longer be held back. The Zhang family had always been loyal to Yu Kingdom and the sovereign. Back when the sovereign was implementing new policies, and many corrupt officials shied away, only his father had stepped forward to support the sovereign. Yet, while the incompetent remained safe, the truly dutiful suffered this fate. Suddenly, a cry of indignation burst from his heart. He felt it was so unjust for his father. At that moment, he lay beside his father, weeping uncontrollably. Now his youngest brother, Zhang Ji, was dead. His sister, Zhang Chunhua, couldn't make it back in time, and his eldest brother was still on the battlefield in southern Ouyang. The officials who once revered his father didn't even come to visit. He was the only one left to see his father off. Just as he was succumbing to despair, a servant announced from outside, "Second young master, the fifth prince and Shen Lang have come to visit." Hearing the name Shen Lang surprised Jang Sun. Shen Lang, he hadn't expected that his father's greatest adversary would come to send him off at the time of his death. After his initial shock, he wiped the tears from his face and went out to meet them. Even in profound grief, Jang Sun maintained his decorum and received Shen Lang courteously. After some formalities, Shen Lang gestured towards Huang Feng and Shen 13 behind him and said, "I just heard that your father has contracted dysentery. I have done some research on this disease, so I took the liberty of coming to try and help." Jang Sun was greatly shocked. Dysentery is a fatal disease that even the court physicians can do nothing about. "Brother Shen, do you really have a way to treat it?" Shen Lang nodded and said, "I have a way, but I need to assess your father's condition first. In fact, this severe dysentery is acute appendicitis, which in this era, without surgical intervention, naturally leads to various complications and ultimately death. But for Shen Lang, a modern doctor, this is merely a minor surgery. The challenge lies in post-operative care. Without antibiotics to prevent and treat infection, Jang Chong's life could be at risk at any moment." When Shen Lang entered the inner room and saw Jang Chong's condition, he was shocked. He hadn't expected the once vigorous Jang Chong to be so tormented. He quickly activated his X-ray vision for a full body scan and discovered that Jang Chong's appendix was inflamed and purulent, which was also causing his persistent fever. The complications from the infection made Shen Lang curse aloud. "Those dogs at the Court of Judicial Review, they deserve death. If they hadn't concealed your father's condition, it wouldn't have gotten this bad." He turned to Jang Sun and said solemnly, "Brother Jang Sun, I only have a 30% confidence in curing your father, but I will start the treatment now." Hearing Shen Lang say he had a 30% chance, Jang Sun was initially stunned, and then tears came streaming down his face again. Although Shen Lang was his father's greatest rival and seemed recklessly unorthodox, he had never been known to lie. His father was going to be saved. With that thought, he immediately knelt deeply before Shen Lang and made a vow. "Whether or not you can save my father, I, Jang Sun, will remain loyal to you." Shen Lang, ready to serve at your command for anything. A slight, barely noticeable smile curled the corners of Shen Lang's mouth. He then helped Jang Sun up and made him comfortable before starting to direct Shen 13 and Huang Feng to set up a makeshift operating room inside the house. Moments later, everything was ready. The numerous candles lit in the room reflected off mirrors, serving as surgical lights. Shen Lang also put on specially made sterile animal skin gloves. Huang Feng brought over a bowl of potent anesthetic powder, and following Shen Lang's instructions, Shen 13 fed it to the agonized Jang Chong. 5 minutes later, the anesthetic took effect, and Jang Chong's pained expression began to relax. Seeing this, Shen Lang immediately activated his X-ray vision and started the surgery. Because the effects of the anesthetic powder were not as lasting as modern anesthetics, he had to complete the surgery as quickly as possible. Soon, Shen Lang located the pus-filled appendix. All that was needed was to remove remove it and check if there were signs of diffuse peritonitis or sepsis in Jang Chong's abdominal cavity. If sepsis had set in, then not even the greatest immortals could save him. Inside, Shen Lang worked on the surgery with focused intensity. Outside in the ancestral hall, Jang Sun ceaselessly prayed for his father to survive this ordeal. Meanwhile, back in the palace study, the sovereign was awaiting news of Jang Chong's demise. He had already drafted an imperial edict that would not only vindicate Jang Chong posthumously, but would also promote his rank to console Jang Sun. At that moment, the sovereign suddenly asked Li Ji, "Has any official visited Jang Chong since he was sent home?" Li Ji shook his head and replied, "Your Majesty, no one has visited." The sovereign then picked up a book inside. "It seems my ministers are all heartless and faithless." As another eunuch came to report to Li Ji immediately informed the sovereign, "Your Majesty, Shen Lang has visited Jang Chong." The sovereign was also surprised. Shen Lang, back at the Zhang family estate. After an hour of intense surgery, Jang Chong's condition was finally stabilized. Receiving the news, Jang Sun hurried to inquire about his father's status. Shen Lang reassured him, "I have done everything I could to save him. Now it all depends on Mr. Zhang's own fate." Shen Lang's words were not mistaken. Although the surgery was successful, and despite his efforts at disinfection and using anti-inflammatory herbs, the outcome was still uncertain. But even in modern times, this type of surgery is considered major, and given that Jang Chong's condition had deteriorated for so long, we can only wait past the critical 24-hour risk period before planning further steps. A day later, with Jang Chong's life hanging by a thread, Shen Lang's diligent treatment finally stabilized his condition. For Jang Chong, that night felt as if his consciousness was dragged into a dark abyss, his desire to survive pushing him to fight with all his might, ultimately overcoming the nightmare-like ordeal. After a long night's wait, when the first rays of the morning sun touched Jang Chong's gaunt face the next day, he slowly opened his eyes. Jang Sun, who had been vigilantly by his bedside, couldn't contain his emotions upon seeing his father awaken and burst into tears. "Father, you've finally woken up. Shen Lang saved you. He truly is a miracle doctor." Hearing Jang Sun's tearful joy, Jang Chong fully came to his senses. He had contracted dysentery, a usually fatal disease, and yet he had not died, but had been cured. As he was still in shock and confusion, Shen Lang walked in with a smile. "Lord Zhang's willpower is indeed formidable. Since you were able to wake up so quickly, you've managed to save most of your life." Jang Chong, seeing Shen Lang, was momentarily stunned, recalling Jang Sun's earlier words, and finally pieced together his thoughts, realizing that it was Shen Lang who had saved his life. His feelings were complex. Past hostilities seemed to evaporate like smoke. Shen Lang had saved him despite their previous enmities, an act of life-saving grace so significant that Jang Chong was at a loss for words. Finally, after a moment, he managed to say, "Young Master Shen, how far have you gone in your plans to eliminate the Su family?" Shen Lang laughed and responded by raising his hand. "If my calculations are correct, the final battle should be in about 13 days. Ning Zheng, who was present, was stunned. "Shen Lang, aren't you being a bit too arrogant to precisely predict the day of the final showdown with that ruthless Su Nan? Moreover, you've revealed all your plans even though you're not sure if Jang Chong is friend or foe." At that moment, Jang Chong pondered briefly and then shared his insight. "So, young Master Shen, you plan to let the enemy make the first move and then counterattack decisively, right?" Shen Lang laughed. "It really does save time talking to a smart person. I only mentioned 13 days, yet Lord Zhang has already deduced the subsequent strategy." Jang Chong continued, "You are pessimistic about the upcoming border hunt between the sovereign and King Wu, even predicting that the sovereign will lose." Shen Lang clapped his hands, impressed. "It's just like Jang Chong. Even just awakened from a high fever, your mind remains sharp and perceptive." Then he added, "Exactly. The previous hunt was subdued by the sovereign's intimidation. King Wu's defeat was merely a show of weakness. Now that our Yu kingdom is embroiled in the rebellion war with southern Ouyang, King Wu sees an opportunity to rise forcefully. Thus, in this hunt, the sovereign is very likely to lose. In these last few days, Su Nan has been so quiet. He must have thought of this too, so he's waiting for the outcome of the hunt, planning to redirect the sovereign's anger towards me when he is most upset." After hearing this, Jang Chong closed his eyes and did not speak, strategizing mentally. Suddenly, he opened his eyes and declared, "You have a flaw." Shen Lang smiled slowly, saying, "And this flaw, no normal method can remedy. It could instantly put me in mortal peril, but since it can't be remedied, let's magnify this flaw, fill it with poison, and deliver a deadly counterstrike to the enemy." Hearing this, Jang Chong suddenly understood. This was almost a do-or-die game. Although risky, once the enemy fell into the trap, their defeat was certain. Seeing Jang Chong's expression, Shen Lang showed a hint of admiration and then asked, "Now that Lord Zhang has seen through my plan, what do you think are the chances of victory?" Jang Chong thought for a moment and replied, "Since you've planned so long, the chances of success are certainly not small. However, Su Nan has deep roots in the court, and he has also secured the backing of Chang country as his ace. If Su Nan falls, Chang country will definitely trouble Yu kingdom. With the current critical situation in southern Ouyang, if Chang country intervenes, the consequences are unimaginable." Realizing this, Jang Chong suddenly recognized that Shen Lang Lang had made a crucial move in the grand scheme. He abruptly looked up at Shen Lang. Meeting Shen Lang's deep and cunning gaze, he heard Shen Lang say, "Exactly, Lord Zhang, just as you thought. There is about to be great turmoil within Chang country." As soon as he said this, Jang Chong fell silent, instantly organizing every step Shen Lang had taken since entering the capital city in his mind. The first step was to burn the sacred temple. The second step was to send a mission to the Chang country. The third step was a decisive battle in the royal court, and now it was the final step, eliminating the Su family. Amazing, truly amazing, Jang Chong inwardly exclaimed. Shen Lang not only devised a grand scheme using natural and man-made disasters, but he also managed to tie everything together with precise timing to the day. This guy has always been thinking several steps ahead, even seemingly having fate on his side, ultimately leading him to victory. So this time, with Shen Lang using his own fatal flaws bait, would the old fox Su Nan see through his chess game? At this moment, it was clear between the two. Shen Lang continued, asking, "Lord Zhang, in your view, is this method enough to take down Su Nan?" Jang Chong knew, of course, that Shen Lang telling him his plan so openly was meant to win him over, especially since Shen Lang had saved his life. Thinking of this, he said, "It's enough to provoke the sovereign's personal wrath, but not enough for justice." Shen Lang thought for a moment, then said, "I have one more thing, evidence of crimes committed by the previous generation of the Su family. I believe that will certainly provoke the sovereign's anger." Jang Chong shook his head. "That's still a personal grievance. You know, the fall of any powerful official requires a just cause." Shen Lang fell silent. Yes, Su Nan, after all, is the army garrison general. Toppling him in the court based on the sovereign's personal grievances might be sufficient, but to completely crush the Su family requires a just cause. Such opportunities are rare. As he was pondering, Jang Chong suddenly said, "The just cause for toppling Su Nan, I have it, and the evidence is conclusive." Shen Lang was startled, then listened as Jang Chong continued, "I was the pioneer of the new policy, and my main target was not the mythical Turtle Count's mansion, but the distant Guard Marquis estate. The Su family is the real powerhouse among the old nobility. Taking him down would mean a true victory. Shen Lang, you have 13 days until your decisive battle with Su Nan, and you almost have no allies in the court. But no worries, as the pioneer of the new policy, let me help you fight this tough battle." Shen Lang was initially stunned, then laughed. "Thank you, Lord Zhang, for your help. Let's take down that old codger Su Nan together." Meanwhile, inside the capital city palace, Li Ji was reporting to the sovereign. Li Ji detailed Shen Lang's process of saving Jang Chong. The sovereign was shocked. He had always regarded Shen Lang as a clever and resourceful person, but he had no idea that Shen Lang also possessed such superb medical skills. To think that Jang Chong, who was on the verge of death from severe dysentery, was revived by Shen Lang overnight, his medical skills could truly be deemed miraculous. After recovering from his shock, the sovereign said coldly, "Li Ji, let's not publicize this matter. Pretend Jang Chong never had dysentery. Immediately have the jailers who were watching Jang Chong executed. Draft a new decree proclaiming that the allegations of Jang Chong embezzling the national treasury are utterly baseless. Arrest the accusers immediately. Show no mercy. Release Jang Chong without charges. Restore his official position, and appoint him as the right minister of the Imperial Censorate in 3 days." Li Ji, who had long been pained to see such a loyal and patriotic official treated this way, was moved to tears by the sovereign's command to release Jang Chong. After drafting the decree, he hurriedly went to the Zhang residence to deliver it. Meanwhile, this news quickly spread throughout the entire capital city official circles. People not only marveled that Jang Chong was reinstated, but were also amazed that he had miraculously recovered from a terminal illness and returned from the brink of death. Some rejoiced, others worried. At this moment, the imperial censor Wang Qingchang, listening to his subordinates' discussions about Jang Chong, had a gloomy expression. Wang Qingchang frowned and thought, "Jang Chong, this position is merely a stepping stone for you. I hope you do not overshadow the master. After all, there should only be one leader in the Imperial Censorate, and that is me, Wang Qingchang." 2 days later, after arranging everything, the sovereign left the capital city for the border hunting ground. The biennial Wuiwa border hunt, meant to demonstrate who was the sovereign of the south, was particularly crucial this year. With the southern Ouyang country embroiled in conflict and the noble Lord Jin gaining support from the San barbarian tribe, they were starting to gain the upper hand. Therefore, for the sovereign, this year's Wuiwa border hunt was not only a diplomatic battlefield but also a political one. To boost morale, he had to win this confrontation. Unexpectedly, Su Nan, who had always been obsequious, did not accompany the sovereign. It seemed, just as Shen Lang had predicted, this old man was indeed up to something. The sovereign faced immense pressure on his end, while our Shen Lang, back at home, was almost bored to mold. Now that little Bing was pregnant and could not accompany him to alleviate his worries, after much internal struggle, he finally disguised himself and took to the streets. His goal was clear. He headed straight for capital city's largest and most famous place of entertainment, Red Delight Pavilion. Shen Lang also had a convincing reason for himself. "I'm about to go into a decisive battle with Su Nan. It's good to relax my body and mind before the fight to help me focus more on combating the enemy later." He was just about to step into Red Delight Pavilion Pavilion, but as he took the first step, the image of Mulan appeared in his mind. Thinking of the promises he had made to her, Shen Lang hesitated again. Mulan's adoring, independent gaze now seemed like a sharp knife, stabbing into his tainted heart. No, he resolved internally, I can't betray Mulan again. With determination, he turned around and headed back home. However, lying in bed that night, Shen Lang tossed and turned, unable to sleep, his mind agitated like a tormented cat. He thought again. The courtesans of Red Delight Pavilion were destined to have their first nights sold to some crude merchants. As a handsome man, if he chose one, wouldn't he be doing a good deed, granting those women a moment in their lives without regret? I must go. After a night of deliberation, Shen Lang disguised himself again the next noon and made his way back to Red Delight Pavilion. Yet, just as he stepped through the entrance, he balked. No, I just can't get past my conscience. Just then, a cool female voice rang out from behind him. Shen Lang, what are you doing here? Hearing the familiar voice, Shen Lang whirled around in shock. Crap, not good. Ning Yan, how did she recognize me? Expecting that Ning Yan, seeing his sneaky appearance, would add fuel to the fire, she called out loudly, Shen Lang, I knew it. You're here to find pleasure, aren't you? This immediately drew the attention of countless onlookers. Right now, Shen Lang was a celebrity in capital city, and nearly everyone recognized him. Upon hearing Ning Yan's words, they realized that the mysterious person who had been coming and going from Red Delight Pavilion was Shen Lang. The madam welcoming guests at the entrance of Red Delight Pavilion also hurried forward with the courtesans upon hearing the name Shen Lang. This action scared Shen Lang into fleeing, running with his head in his hands. As he escaped, he cursed internally, damn tigress, setting me up again. Just wait, I'll get back at you someday. From that day on, the image of Shen Lang's desperate escape from Red Delight Pavilion became a hot topic of discussion in capital city. Many people also turned their attention to Jean Mulan, curious why she hadn't become pregnant after so long in marriage. After some discussion, they summed it up in 4 words. Shen Lang can't do it. Shen Lang deeply regretted his actions. This was even worse than not going at all. Oh God. Since then, ever since Shen Lang fled from the entrance of Red Delight Pavilion, he became the butt of jokes among the idlers in capital city. Seeing that the time for his decisive battle with Su Nan was drawing near, Shen Lang, who had wanted to go out and enjoy himself, could now only sulk in his villa drinking sullenly. Accompanying him was none other than Ning Yan, the instigator of the debacle, and his like-minded good friend Yunmengza. Now abstinent for nearly a month, Shen Lang could only suppress the fire in his heart with strong liquor. At that moment, his drunken gaze inadvertently swept towards Ning Yan. Strangely, why did this tigress look so enticing today? Noticing Shen Lang's unusual gaze, Ning Yan turned her head back in confusion. Seeing this, Shen Lang quickly averted his eyes, shaking his head guiltily. I can't look, I mustn't look, or there'll be trouble. Then, to cover up his inner turmoil, Shen Lang picked up his wine cup, ready to toast Yunmengza. Ning Yan watched his every move, her eyes filled with disdain, and unexpectedly said, what a loser. This awkward moment made Yunmengza unable to resist speaking. Lan, you seem to be preoccupied. Shen Lang was startled. Yunmengza finished his drink and continued, it must be something significant to make someone as calm and collected as you nervous. Shen Lang glanced covertly at Ning Yan and nodded, saying, indeed, there are some matters. Yes, it involves life and death, Shen Lang said gravely. Yunmengza immediately understood and chuckled while shaking the wine jug in his hand, saying, since you are about to undertake something so significant, being all tense won't do. I might not be able to help you with other things, but I can offer you moral support. After speaking, he personally poured drinks for Shen Lang and Ning Yan. As they drank one cup after another, the atmosphere among the 3 of them gradually relaxed. About half an hour later, Shen Lang suddenly felt something odd in his body, as if a fire had been lit inside, making him uncomfortably hot. At that moment, a rapid breathing sound came from beside him. Glancing from the corner of his eye, Shen Lang was startled to see Ning Yan with a flushed face, breathing heavily, her chest heaving more than before. It was only then that Shen Lang realized they had been drugged in their drinks. Seeing the increasingly dazed expressions on their faces, Yunmengza smiled mischievously. He got up, supported Shen Lang with one hand, and pulled Ning Yan with the other towards the guest room in the villa. After entering the room, he tossed the 2 on a large bed, and before leaving, he cheekily said, Brother Lan, Sister Yan, enjoy yourselves. I won't disturb you. As soon as Yunmengza left, Ning Yan propped herself up and slowly leaned towards Shen Lang. Feeling the pressure, the groggy Shen Lang opened his eyes and met Ning Yan's desperate gaze. That look instantly sobered Shen Lang somewhat, but the drug in his system was potent, making resistance seem futile. After a night of struggle, the room was a mess by morning. As the morning sunlight streamed into the room, Ning Yan woke from her hangover. She sat up only to be struck by a splitting headache and overwhelming fatigue. She felt as if she had had a vivid dream where she and Shen Lang had engaged in a fierce physical confrontation. The more she thought about it, the more bizarre it seemed, so she decided to stop thinking and lay back down to get some more sleep. However, when she noticed someone else lying next to her, she nearly jumped up. Shen Lang, that scoundrel, how could he be sleeping here? At that moment, looking at Shen Lang nearly drove her mad. Was it not a dream? Had she really forced herself on this scoundrel? Oh God, how could this happen? She tried to calm herself, thinking, stay calm, calm. Shen Lang is still asleep. If I just sneak out quietly, he won't know. Otherwise, if he wakes up and clings to me, it'll be troublesome. But just then, a large hand grabbed her leg. Shen Lang lazily opened his eyes and said, Princess Ning, you're free to go. I won't stop you, but last night, it was you who pounced on me. I'm the victim here. I won't be responsible for you. My relationship with my wife is very good. Last night was just an accident, and I hope you can treat it as a dream and have no further illusions about me. At these words, Ning Yan's fist tightened instantly. Die, scoundrel. How dare you steal my lines? You're really asking for it. Just as Ning Yan was about to explode, Shen Lang caught a glimpse of bloodstains on the bed, causing him to pause. After a moment of reflection, as if realizing something, he pointed at Ning Yan and asked, Tigress, you couldn't possibly still be a virgin after being married for years, could you? At that, Ning Yan exploded in anger. The next second she was sitting on top of Shen Lang, beginning to beat him furiously. However, mid-assault, Ning Yan suddenly cradled Shen Lang's face and kissed him deeply. If the previous night's frenzy was an accident, then this moment's fiery passion was truly stepping out of line. Half an hour later, Ning Yan, embarrassed, sat on the edge of the bed getting dressed and said, Shen Lang, although something inappropriate happened between us today, we're still brothers afterwards, understand? Shen Lang moved closer to Ning Yan's ear and joked, if there are two men in a dorm who have a very close relationship and one of them suddenly turns into a woman, what do you think she should do? Ning Yan paused, not grasping his meaning before Shen Lang continued, then, she should step up when her brother most needs her. Talking nonsense gets you slapped. Before he could finish, Ning Yan slapped him across the face and harshly added, if I, Ning Yan, ever hang out with you, this scumbag again, I'll kill you. With that, she stormed out of the room furiously. Outside in the villa's corridor, Yunmengza was leisurely playing the bamboo flute, cultivating his mood. Seeing his indifferent demeanor, Ning Yan clenched her fists even tighter. This damn man, if she could beat him, she would have charged at him already. With that thought, she stepped forward and said fiercely, Yunmengza, you just wait. If you ever fall into my hands, I'll make sure you're dead. After making her fierce statement, Ning Yan stormed out of the villa. At this moment, Shen Lang also came out. Yunmengza saw his swollen face and couldn't help but laugh. Brother Lan, you seem to be in better spirits today than yesterday. Hearing this, Shen Lang asked with a sullen face, what's the deal with Ning Yan? Yunmengza sighed and said, actually, Ning Yan is also a political sacrifice. Back when Wu and you were at odds for a long time, and with Jian Li's sudden death, the Yu King reluctantly thought of marriage as a solution, promising her to the son of the Imperial Prince Lian of the Empire. Unexpectedly, that guy grew up to be interested only in men. In such circumstances, Ning Yan gradually developed a man-like demeanor. Actually, she's quite feminine. Brother Lan, you shouldn't feel burdened. Last night, you did a good deed by making her a real woman. Shen Lang felt somewhat sorry for Ning Yan after hearing this, but also felt something was off. Just as he was about to voice his question, Yunmengza interrupted him. Brother Lan, I've done all I could to help. Now, you must face the blade of the Su family alone. However, I have absolute confidence in you. You will surely return victorious. Meanwhile, inside the Zhang family mansion, Jang Chong, newly recovered from a serious illness, stood in front of a mirror in his official attire. His emaciated figure looked even more frail against his large official robe, but the determination and fierceness in his eyes remained unchanged. Today, he would attend the court meeting for the first time as the Imperial Censorate Right Minister and also to help Shen Lang kick off the final plan. Shen Lang, rest assured, since you saved my life, no matter how perilous the situation, I, Jang Chong, will faithfully stand by your side. In the court, the regent crown prince sat on the throne, his expression solemn. Honorable ministers, the emperor will return from the campaign soon. There has been peace in the court these past days, which is good. Please continue to maintain it. Let there be no disturbances to trouble the court. Just let me get through this period of regency peacefully. As the words fell, the courtiers exchanged glances, silent. Everyone knew about the Yu King's defeat in the recent hunting competition, and with his temperament, he was bound to vent his anger on trivial matters. If anyone dared to stand out now, they might face disaster. At the moment, all the ministers were thinking, silence is golden, and stayed as far away from trouble as possible. As everyone nervously awaited the crown prince to announce the end of the session, Jang Chong, who had been silent, stepped forward. Your Highness, I have a report. With that statement, the crown prince was taken aback. He hadn't expected Jang Chong, this tough nut who had just survived a brush with death, to stir up trouble on his first day back in court. Nevertheless, he let Jang Chong continue. Under the astonished gazes of everyone, Jang Chong said, the nephew of distant guard Marquis Su Nan, Su Lin, who holds no title and has made no contributions, holds the position of chief clerk of distant guard city. This man is tyrannical and has already driven away 3 city lords. The Marquis' sister has encroached on thousands of acres of peasant land, taking lives without a second thought. Yet no one in White Knight County has addressed this. I request that your Highness investigate this matter thoroughly. With these words, the assembly was shocked. Was Jang Chong out of his mind to bring up such trivial matters to the court at this critical time? However, others might not understand, but Su Nan knew very well. Jang Chong's attitude clearly indicated to Su Nan that he was now on Shen Lang's side. Su Nan realized he was about to face a formidable enemy enemy. With a cold laugh, he stepped forward and knelt. Your Highness, I truly was unaware of this, but as the saying goes, no wind, no waves. Whether this matter is true or not, I beg your Highness to investigate thoroughly. Moments later, the court session, lasting less than an hour, hastily concluded. As he left the royal palace, Jang Chong looked up at the sky. Under the bright sun, the floating clouds seemed to foretell an approaching storm. Jang Chong sighed. The emperor has lost face this time. I wonder how many will suffer from his wrath. At the same time, in the north, what had been clear skies were suddenly covered by dark clouds. On the outskirts of the city, a royal carriage was hurrying towards Yu Kingdom's capital. Inside sat Yu Kingdom's emperor Ning Yuanxian. In the 2 days and nights since his return to the city, he had not spoken or slept, his eyes bloodshot as he stared ahead. The anxiety and irritation inside him were unbearable. He couldn't believe that after 20 years of securing the border through the hunting competition, he would end in defeat, with both civil and military aspects disastrously lost. How could this young new king of Wu, barely in his 20s, lead his troops to decimate the great Yu cavalry with such a humiliating defeat? How can Yu Kingdom end this gracefully? How will other nations view Yu Kingdom's military strength? The world will only mock me, Ning Yuanxian, as old and lacking ambition, while the young king of Wu rises like the dawn, his brilliance boosting the morale of Wu. As he thought more about it, he slammed his hand down on the wooden stool in anger, continually cursing his own soldiers, all useless trash. Outside the carriage, the palace attendants and soldiers listening to the sovereign raging inside didn't dare breathe a word. Suddenly, a strand of light hair in front of the sovereign caught his eye, interrupting his fury. He plucked the strand of hair, feeling a wave of panic. When had he started to go gray? Was he really getting old? Just then, the sound of urgent hooves approached. A Blackwater platform warrior hurried toward the sovereign's entourage. Li Ji, seeing this, his eyelids twitching, quickly intervened to stop the reckless behavior, asking, "Calm down, what's the hurry?" The Blackwater platform warrior glanced at the carriage, quickly understanding the situation, and then whispered to Li Ji, "Lady, he of Lang County has committed suicide." Before he had finished speaking, the sovereign inside the carriage harshly demanded, "When did this happen?" The warrior hurriedly responded, "The incident occurred 2 days ago. Here is the suicide note she left behind." He then presented the note to the sovereign. The note read, "All of this is Shen Lang's conspiracy. In order to kill Li Wenjing, he implicated me. The reason why there was no blood on the night I was supposed to serve in bed is also due to Shen Lang's actions. Even the poem 'When will the moon be clear and bright' and the skirt that your majesty cannot forget were sent by someone from Shen Lang. I only learned of this truth when Shen Lang passed through Lang County half a month ago. Now that everything is clear, to show my loyalty to your majesty, only death can prove my innocence." After reading Lady He's suicide note, the sovereign felt like a volcano under pressure, trembling uncontrollably. The seeds of betrayal churned in his heart, his rage like lava from hell, ready to erupt at any moment. "Shen Lang, oh Shen Lang, I have not treated you poorly, yet you dare to manipulate your majesty and Lady He for the sake of killing Li Wenjing. Damn it, truly seeking death." Finally, the sovereign's fury erupted, and he bellowed, "Blackwater platform warriors, listen to my command. Take Shen Lang immediately, throw him into the Blackwater platform prison, and await my decision." That afternoon, as a thunderclap sounded, hundreds of Blackwater platform warriors surged forward, storming into the Jin family compound. The commotion made passers-by whisper among themselves, speculating what major crime Shen Lang had committed this time. After all, a Blackwater platform case usually meant a catastrophe that could lead to a family's extinction. This time, it seemed the Jin family was doomed. Meanwhile, at the distant guard marquis's residence, Su Jianting ran excitedly to the back garden and exclaimed to Su Nan, "Blackwater platform warriors have gone to the Jin family compound and captured Shen Lang." Su Nan, hearing this, showed little reaction but instead spread his arms and looked up to the sky, slowly stating, "Shen Lang, your time has run out." Su Nan was so certain because Blackwater platform, once affiliated with the Silver Guard, acted as one of the sovereign's arms, one civilian and one military, helping him supervise the realm. And the commander of Blackwater platform, Yan Yi, was a figure that made everyone shudder. Since Ning Yuanxian's ascension, countless military households had perished at his hands. Now that Shen Lang was in his grasp, his chances were slim. An hour later, Shen Lang was brought to the gates of Blackwater platform. Looking at the fortress-like gates, Shen Lang felt no panic but was oddly excited. He thought, "They say Blackwater platform is a living hell. Could I be about to achieve a record of surviving Blackwater platform?" As time rewound to just after the sovereign had issued his command, he repeatedly read through Lady He's suicide note, his anger intensifying. Suddenly, he said, "Li Ji, how can people be so heartless? Shen Lang is merely a son-in-law who received my favor. He should be grateful, yet he plotted to kill Li Wenjing, causing the death of my beloved concubine, even cursing the crown prince." Li Ji, kneeling on the ground, replied, "Your Majesty, please hear my humble opinion. Don't you find this coincidence a bit too convenient?" The sovereign startled, then shouted, "Li Ji, are you trying to excuse Shen Lang? You know as well as I do how ruthless he can be. With his talent, it's no surprise he could write 'When will the moon be clear and bright?' And with Li Wenjing as his enemy, his motive for murder is obvious. He has the talent, he has the capability, everything proves he did it." Li Ji, suppressing his fear, continued continued, Your Majesty, I'm not concerned about Shen Lang's fate. I'm worried that someone might be using this to stage a murder by proxy. This situation seems too coincidental, likely orchestrated by someone hoping to use Your Majesty to eliminate Shen Lang and the Jin family. As soon as these words were spoken, Sovereign was suddenly stunned and forcibly suppressed the anger in his heart. Sovereign began to think calmly. Li Ji's words did make sense. There was no solid evidence yet to confirm the authenticity of the events written in Yiwu's letter. Moreover, Blackwater Platform had been dealing with cases of clan annihilation since the founding of the nation. If Shen Lang were to be handed over to Blackwater Platform, it would send a signal to everyone that Sovereign intended to exterminate the Jin family. Having just conferred the title of Mythical Turtle Marquis on the Jin family and then turning against them would be like forcing Jin Zhuo to rebel. With this in mind, Sovereign spoke, Li Ji, carry out my decree, confer the scholarly title of Juren on Jin Mutsong, and transfer Shen Lang to the Court of Judicial Review, with personnel from Blackwater Platform assisting the Court of Judicial Review in thoroughly investigating this case. At that moment, outside the Blackwater Platform tower, two warriors were escorting Shen Lang into the fortress. One of these green-haired warriors was Yan Wei, the leader of 1,000 households at Blackwater Platform, and also a disciple of Yan Struggle to Soar, the Grandmaster from the Martial Peace Count's mansion of the Shui family. When the warriors on the tower shouted Yan Wei's name, Shen Lang instantly linked him to the Shui family. It seemed the Shui family had significant influence, even able to infiltrate Sovereign's trusted departments. However, having a feud with the Shui family meant that if he entered Blackwater Platform, Yan Wei would not make his time easy. At this moment, he thought to himself, wondering when Sovereign would realize the signal he had left. Perhaps he should think of another way to escape from here. Just then, a decree from Sovereign arrived. By the decree of Sovereign, transfer Shen Lang to the Court of Judicial Review's prison. Appoint specialized personnel from Blackwater Platform to assist the Court of Judicial Review in handling this case. Hearing Sovereign's decree, Shen Lang breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness Ning Yuanxian reacted quickly, or my frail body wouldn't have survived inside there. Meanwhile, at the Jin family courtyard, Ming Zheng's wife was inside trying to console little Bing, who was crying inconsolably. Being pregnant and emotionally volatile, she nearly collapsed when she heard that Shen Lang had been captured. In a fit of desperation, little Bing suddenly pulled out her rainstorm of hidden blades, intending to storm Blackwater Platform to break him out. Just as Ning Zheng's wife was at a loss on how to stop her, the voice of a eunuch announcing a decree came from outside. Looking out, they saw Jin Mutsong prostrating on the ground listening to the imperial decree. When he received the decree conferring him the title of Juren, this simple-minded fellow for the first time quickly grasped Sovereign's intention. After the announcing eunuch left, his expression turned grave. Although his brother-in-law had anticipated these events and warned him not to act rashly, the arrival of the decree indicated that his brother-in-law was in great danger. Thinking this, he immediately called his trusted guards. Go back to our family immediately, inform father of the situation, and if anyone tries to kill my brother-in-law, our family will stop at nothing to retaliate. On the other side, at the third princess residence, Ning Yan, who had been with Shen Lang, was not doing well. Every time she closed her eyes, she remembered the events with Shen Lang. Damn it, why can't I get these thoughts out of my head? She gritted her teeth in frustration. As she was fuming, her loyal guard rushed in frantically. Princess, bad news. Shen Lang has been taken away by the people from Blackwater Platform. Hearing this news, Ning Yan abruptly sat up and asked, what happened? Why would they take Shen Lang? Without waiting for the guard's response, she grabbed a large sword, gathered her loyal followers, and stormed out angrily towards Blackwater Platform. However, just as she reached the door, she was stopped by Yunmengza. Ning Yan, what are you doing? Blackwater Platform took Shen Lang, and I'm going to save him. Yunmengza sighed. You silly girl, you don't even know where Shen Lang is, so what are you rushing out for? The latest news is that he's been transferred to the Court of Judicial Review's prison. Even then, it's not a place you can just storm into. If you go now, not only will you not help Shen Lang, but you might also make things worse. Ning Yan became even more anxious. I can't just watch Shen Lang die. Yunmengza smiled reassuringly. Don't worry, with Shen Lang's cunning, he probably has everything under control. What we need to do now is find a way to stop those in Blackwater Platform who want to torture him. His captors are from the Martial Peace Count's mansion of the Shui family, and you know how much the Shui family hates Shen Lang. Yunmengza suddenly stopped, then shrugged and said, sorry, I forgot you, silly girl. Didn't care about these matters before, so you don't understand their grievances. At this, Ning Yan, confused, couldn't help but yell, stop blabbering, just tell me what to do next. Yunmengza continued, the fifth prince has already gone to the palace to plead on his behalf, and what you need to do is to go to Princess Ning Jia, your aunt, and get her to stop Blackwater Platform from torturing Shen Lang. Seeing Ning Yan's puzzled look, he sighed and said, your aunt was once part of Blackwater Platform. Do you understand now? A quarter of an hour later, Ning Yan burst into Ning Jia's serene dwelling, shouting, Master, Shen Lang has been taken by the people of Blackwater Platform. You must save him. Ning Jia slowly opened her eyes and said calmly, he's been arrested. What's your hurry? Besides, Shen Lang has committed a grave crime and has thoroughly angered the emperor. No one can save him now. Ning Yan, thumping her chest, said, said. What if I go and plead with my father? He loves me so much. He will surely release Shen Lang. Ning Jia looked at her as if she were a fool. Shen Lang had committed a crime of deceiving the emperor. If this girl used her status to protect him, she might very well end up sacrificing herself too. But why was she reacting so strongly to this? Could it be that they had already? Thinking this, Ning Jia directly asked, Ning Yan, did Shen Lang sleep with you? Ning Yan blushed and responded, no, I slept with him. I couldn't resist. Ning Jia, speechless, continued, whatever happened between you two, this guy is beyond saving. Give up. Hearing this, Ning Yan knelt down and pleaded, Shen Lang saved my life. Morally and emotionally, I cannot just watch him suffer. I beg you, please save him. Seeing Ning Yan's actions, Ning Jia's face filled with disdain. This niece of hers was truly a foolish girl with more brawn than brains. Unwilling to argue further, she got up and said, do whatever you want, I won't interfere. Even if you try to break him out of prison, I won't help. She then turned and walked away. Watching Ning Jia's indifferent back, Ning Yan felt desperate. Was Shen Lang really going to die? She had always claimed to be the boss of Capital City, never unable to handle anything, but now, her past self seemed like a joke. Helplessly, she cried as she left the dwelling, finally understanding, if her father really cared about her, he wouldn't have married her off to a pervert. If her aunt cared about her, she wouldn't despise her. All the signs of being unloved were indeed traceable. She ran out of the courtyard crying and ran straight to Yunmengza, who was waiting outside. Seeing Ning Yan's state, Yunmengza was not surprised, as if he had anticipated this outcome. He comforted her, stop crying. Haven't you realized yet? We're both seen as unworthy by our families. Instead of trying to please them to prove ourselves, isn't it better to live foolishly like this? Ning Yan sobbed, we can't just do nothing and watch Shen Lang die. Yunmengza smiled, fool, you and Shen Lang are both my brothers. How could I do nothing? You want to break him out of jail? I'll go with you, but we don't really need to break him out. Trust me, just make things bigger, and that kid Shen Lang will surely find a way to escape. Meanwhile, at the palace of Queen Yu, Prince Ning Zheng, following Shen Lang's instructions, also arrived at the quarters of his mother, Consort Su. At that moment, Prince Ning Jing was diligently massaging his mother. Although Ning Zheng and Ning Jing were both her sons, Consort Su favored the younger Ning Jing due to his looks, treating him with tender affection. In contrast, Consort Su looked at Ning Zheng, who was kneeling before her, with utter disgust. You've never come to visit me before, so why bother pretending to be a filial son now? I know you're here to plead for that wretched Shen Lang, but what does his life or death have to do with me? The harem does not interfere in politics, you know that well. Are you trying to drag me into this mess? Ning Jing, standing beside them, sneered as well. Fifth brother, it's not like Shen Lang has only crossed our Su family once or twice. If Shen Lang dies this time, wouldn't it be perfect? Before he could finish his sentence, Consort Su quickly covered his mouth. She looked around to ensure no one else was present, then finally relaxed. Foolish child, how could you dare to call us the Su family in the palace? You, Ning Jing, are a child of the Ning clan. If these words reach His Majesty's ears, it would be over. At this moment, Ning Jing spoke. I humbly ask my lady mother to convey a message to Lord Su. Shen Lang is willing to leave the capital city. I ask only that, for the sake of their past marriage alliance, he grant him a way out.